Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Demand Channels podcast. This is our weekly podcast where we get together, myself and Philippe Machaz here, and we talk about ways that hotels can create a direct connection to their best guests so that whenever you have a promotion, they're going to pay attention. Whenever you have maybe a dip in your forecast, you can get in touch with the people that are most likely to book with you. And today, I'm talking with Philippe about SEO and specifically the problem that most hotels have with creating an SEO strategy. So what is this problem in your words, Philippe?
So in my words, so before getting into the real problem, we need to understand that many of the hotels, actually many of the people that work on the internet, they don't know what's SEO. Okay, so I'll give you my version of what's SEO, so then we can go into the problem. So I really believe that SEO is divided in two branches. Okay, the first branch would be the technical SEO, and it should be taken care by the what we call content management systems, and the other branch is content. Okay, and content, it's basically copy. It's basically putting all the keywords and all your content, the descriptions, the story behind your property into the website, okay? That's why, for me, it's a little bit puzzling because I see a lot of people trying to sell and resell this SEO magic that doesn't exist.
Right, people are always reaching out, hey, rank on page one, rank on page one. As if it's a magical thing, right?
Exactly. So like, how come a company, I don't know, let's say in Miami, will do proper SEO of an hotel here in San Diego? It could get complicated. Do you understand? So you really need to almost be on the property. Just, you understand, to try to understand and develop good search engine optimization.
Yes, and that's exactly where we're going with today's conversation, is to bring the properties perspective into the SEO game.
Yeah.
What's your idea here to do that?
So my idea, and I always have this conversation. So every time that I'm doing a new website for a new hotel, they say, hey, SEO, what should I write? And for instance, I'm working with this new hotel in Jackson. Jackson Hole, and obviously this question came. So I came up with this idea, this new concept of, okay, before we actually start writing about the pages, the most, whatever, beautiful, the best activities in Jackson Hole.
Right.
Okay.
The common SEO, high traffic terms.
Exactly. It's like basically we would be repeating what everyone is doing, right? I would go and I'll train the staff on doing this micro interviews to guests and just ask them, okay, what brings to our hotel? What brings you to Jackson Hole? Do you understand? And so we can have this perspective. It's not just, we are not just bringing obviously Jackson Hole into our content, but we are also bringing the emotions of the client when they selected our hotel. Do you understand? So it's not like, oh, I wanted an hotel to visit or to do some ski with my wife. It's like, I wanted a romantic hotel to do ski, to whatever, for a ski weekend with my wife. Do you understand? So when we are doing SEO, we can bring those keywords into the table.
Right. So you're basically asking people what makes our hotel most relevant to you, and then you're taking those answers and giving them to Google.
Exactly.
And saying, hey, for our specific location, this is what people love about us.
Exactly. And if you look into the ways hotels work, it's many of these hotels, they have a concierge service, or they have, like, let's say at the reception front desk, they have like a list of, okay, if I reach whatever the front desk manager and I ask them, hey, what's the best thing to do in Jackson Hole, or what's the best restaurant. Do you understand? So most probably they already have that content. They don't have to rewrite the content. It's all about,
they hear a lot, right?
It's all about knowing, okay, what's the priorities? What are the priorities? And where should I start? And I think that's kind of like, but I think the concept of creating a super simple Excel spreadsheet with maybe you can even create using Google Docs kind of a super simple survey. And every time that someone says, oh, I'm here to ski with my wife, or I'm here to visit whatever the mountains, or to hike the mountains, or to run a marathon, or to do whatever, you just mark. And imagine the amount of responses that you can get. It's huge, right?
That's why I love this, because you're going to get responses from every single person. That it's not like you're asking a crazy question, and the staff already know a lot of these answers. You know, you don't have to hire an SEO company to research when you just ask your staff, hey, why do most people come here? Like, can you give me a couple examples? Can you give me a couple examples? Everybody will know. Oh, there you go. You're off and running.
And actually, it's funny because you are really extending SEO, like the SEO super technical term, into a service, right? Because if I don't know, for instance, I can give you an example. If I'm replying to the survey and say, hey, I'm here to spend the weekend, it's my anniversary, and you can check, you should, like, if you are at the front desk, you can say, oh, maybe you should check the best restaurant in town. They have a lovely setting, blah, blah, blah. Or you have this hiking that has beautiful views, super romantic. So you are kind of like, you are extending your something that should be super technical into a service. And I think that's a great approach. And I think maybe that would bring a culture into the hotel, just to ask more things to the guests so they can actually serve better. Do you understand?
Yeah, culture and loyalty too. Because every time that maybe a couple came to the hotel to go hiking, and then you actually have a page that talks about really cool romantic hikes and viewpoints, and you recommend that, you know, that might become their yearly tradition. So all these things are really, really useful. What other considerations do you think people might have when doing this project in their hotel?
I think the first one is like, okay, how can we use that to extend the service? I think that's a really, really good consideration, because most of the people, and especially the SEO companies, they care less, right? They are just, okay, I'm just doing keywords and adjustments to the website so I can kind of like try to get better and better. Yeah. But maybe you could extend, and if you see that someone is super enthusiastic, try to interview them. Like, I don't know, all the whatever, the smartphones, they have fantastic 4K whatever cameras. And like, would you mind just telling a story to our Instagram feed? And then you, like, you know, a couple of seconds, right? You can ask, oh, this is a great location, just come. And so you can share that on Instagram. So those micro moments could bring alive an Instagram, a Facebook page. Do you understand? So then you are combining SEO with service with Facebook. So it's kind of like so it's kind of like something that goes around. Do you understand?
Yeah. I mean, it's a conversation starter, right? If you have a lot of people that are coming in to your hotel specifically, not other ones, but your hotel, because of a certain competitive advantage, you could easily say, hey, we get a ton of people that are interested in hiking and checking out this viewpoint. Sure. When you come back, would you tell us how it was, so we could tell everybody else? That's
and you can even connect other people, right? So if you are alone, oh, I know this group, or this person who's alone also. Do you understand? And it could be like running. Do you understand? Running is like something that it's solitary, and you can say, hey, I just talked with a guest that is also into running. Maybe you want to go and run with him. I don't know. It's like there's so many little things that you could could be fun. Do you understand? Just to do.
Yeah, it could really grow.
And I think that those moments, right? Those connections, those relevant connections with clients are really important for you to kind of bring your story together. And you will push that to Facebook, Instagram. Eventually, you push Instagram feed into your website. So it's kind of like it goes around, and that will really help SEO.
That's so true. And just as a side note, I know a lot of CRM companies are just so fascinated with recording these types of details so that you can build loyalty with customers and guests. But wouldn't it be just easier to do it with the person at your front desk asking, hey, what brings you to the area? Sure. Putting it on a little spreadsheet, putting up a little landing page, putting out some things around that. I think that's a much easier solution. And then, so how to get started?
And I think obviously so you kind of need to start to educate your team to do these interviews, okay? And create a way to log them. I don't know, a spreadsheet, a simple Google survey will work, or SurveyMonkey. I don't know, one of these tools would work. So the idea is just, I don't know, after a few months or after a few weeks, you have like a graphic and you see, okay, I can see that the profile, obviously there's seasonality, right? So you need to have that in consideration also.
Too, yeah.
But that's the idea. Okay, like just try to profile the type, the persona, right? The like a typical guest that comes to our hotel, and that could be also used to other things we've talked about, right? But for talking about SEO specifically, let's say I have a list of the 10 most important keywords, right? Romantic, skiing, hiking, whatever. I can create landing pages for those keywords, right? And that's where those micro interviews, right, would come handy, right? It's not just telling, oh, there's a beautiful lake with beautiful whatever views. You can interview the guest after you finish the hike and say, wow, this is great. Just come, Jackson Hole. And it's like 2 seconds, right? But it could be fun just to introduce some elements, right? Some real elements into the page.
Right, in context, the things that people already care about. Yeah,
exactly. So I think that's kind of like the second step, and obviously bringing that culture into the team, it could really make a difference, right? Because what you really want to do when you have an hotel, it's like, how can you optimize the experience, right? Because if you have a great service, things will work with, do you understand? If you really focus on the service, you'll end up with good reviews on TripAdvisor, good reviews on the OTAs. Eventually people will visit more your website. You'll be featured in magazines. Do you understand? So if you really focus on the service, right? Even if it's budget, right? You don't really care. I'm a budget hotel, but I have the best budget room in the world. Do you understand? So you really want to focus in the service. And I think this SEO exercise really helps you build that persona, because once you know the typical type of guest, you can work your service. I think it's kind of like it goes around a little bit, but it makes sense.
But I love it because it's such an easy project to start. I mean, some Google Forms, tell your staff to ask what brings you to the area, which they already do. Record it, throw up a couple simple pages, and it just creates a really nice flow for engagement.
And I think I think you like recorded, right? It's really important. Just ask. And I see even many hotels don't ask emails. Like, okay, can you give me your email so I can reach out? In a sense, so I've stayed in many hotels, and I've booked through, I don't know, through an OTA or through Hotels Tonight, just because I try many platforms. And most of the time they don't have my email address, and they don't ask me. Like, what's the point?
Well, that's a topic for our next conversation. But for SEO, I think this is such a great way to get started and to really bring out the competitive advantage of your hotel, not just the main keywords in the area, but the ones that people really enjoy around your hotel. So if people want to talk more about this with you, Philippe, how can they get in touch with you?
Sure, I love to talk with people who want to increase their digital footprint. I'm super enthusiastic. I've been doing this for 11 years. So you can always call me at my number 858-281-3387, or just reach out by email. We can organize a meeting so we can discuss a little bit further this topic. Okay.
Yep. Perfect. Or just leave a comment below. Make sure to subscribe. We're putting these out every week. So if you have questions, then we'll come back and we'll address it the very next week. So until then, ciao from the Demand Channels podcast. Thanks so much, Philippe. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye. Have a
Bye,
great
everybody.
weekend. Bye.
You too.